Are there any other questions in the room?
Are they can you use it to get the elevator fixed inside of City Hall?
Yes.
No.
No?
No.
I think we can.
If there,
No.
I don't think we can repair the building because the elevator did not get broke during COVID. This money has to be reflective of COVID. That elevator been broke for 10 years.
I think we should,
That's
I
all
think
the
we should
reason
research.
more to get it done.
ARPA money is a little different from the COVID money.
Well, but you can't use ARPA for anything that happened before COVID,
No.
before March 20.
You have to show proof that it happened
The
during COVID.
sidewalks were damaged before COVID, but you just told us we could use the money for the sidewalk.
But they're gonna send money for street repair and sidewalks anyway. So that's automatic. Even if it doesn't come out of this pot of money,
Come on.
once Biden approves this plan that they have, that's in the Senate and Congress now, that's where the street resurfacing and the sidewalk, that kind of money is gonna, in that plan.
It's a public building, that's why, because you can't use any federal funds in a public building. We checked into it for CDBG.
Can you speak up, please?
You can't use federal grant monies in a public building. City Hall, you can't use the funds for that. We checked into it for the CDBG money when
Can you try that
we tried to
again?
get them. So that's what happened.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, because I didn't
Okay,
hear when that
you
was.
cannot use federal grant money in a public building. We had asked before, like for the community development block grant funds, which also comes from the federal government, cannot be utilized in City Hall. That's general fund money that has to be utilized for
But
that.
we will be looking for a way to fix the elevator.
Okay, another thing, do you have some type of program where, okay, can you said that you ought to get 13 million? Okay, is there any way that y'all can try to say, can we get more money
No.
than that? That's the only limit, because that's not
Every-
enough to.
Every-
bring this city back to par.
The allocations for cities are based on population. And based on our population, we get $26 million. So anybody with more people, the more people you have, the more money you get.
So altogether, it's 26 million. You get half.
may I ask a question? Hello,
Your
Please
name?
state your
may I
name
ask
and
a question?
Yes, your name, please.
Dolores Davis, I already gave my address before. I have a question. I would like to know what council have in mind themselves.
What I have in mind is to listen to you all. That's why we're here.
No, but you must have something in mind yourself, so I wanted to know what you have in mind.
I can
No,
respond to that.
I don't have
From
anything in mind.
my perspective, Ms. Davis, I definitely think that the money should be given to people to repair their homes. Okay,
That's a
that,
good
to me,
idea.
that's a big need in East Cleveland. And I also think that we should give money to seniors,
Yeah.
okay, because a lot of them are on fixed income. We have a large senior population in the city. That's some of the things that could be used for.
Those are
I
great
think we could do
thoughts.
something with the youth. And then
Yeah.
this,
Now
Montrose,
you're
is that
talking.
your last name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we definitely need to do something with our youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the
Correct.
top priority. Helping our youth. About 7 years ago, we did, a youth program through the city. We hired about 15 youth and it really worked out real well. We just didn't do it again. But, I can say to you, from the people that I come in contact with and a whole lot, you definitely want money to repair their homes, and seniors all need money because they don't fix income.
I would like to respond to that by saying we are not here to talk about that group of money. We are here to talk about community needs aside from home repair and that kind of thing. We are here to talk about, like we're talking about now, youth programming, senior programming. If there's something going on in the community that a program can be put in the community to shut it down, to stop it, those are the kinds of things that council, that I want to hear. I don't come to this with any preconceived notions. I come to this for you to tell me what we need to do. I could very easily do that because I have a lot of experience with youth programs, senior programs, and all kinds of programs that I ran across the county over the years, but I want to hear from you.
Well, I have another suggestion. What about our safety forces, like the fire, the emergency? Don't they have some problems with their trucks or their ambulance or something? And isn't there, can any money be put into that?
At this time, when we had the initial meeting several months ago, we set aside, I believe, $2 million of the $13 million that we were going to give to the safety forces to use for equipment or whatever else they needed. Our firefighters, oftentimes their uniforms need to be repaired. And from my understanding, sometimes they have to pay for those repairs themselves, which further reduces their income, that because they don't make that much money. So those kinds of things we sort of already said, this is how much money we're going to put aside for that. So we have considered that.
And we also had did a budget in June to hear from y'all to see, because the Civic Center need a lot of attention to it, but we can run programs out of there. You know, the Civic Center.
You have to speak louder, Ms. Cody.
The Martin Luther King Civic Center on Shaw, the Civic Center. You guys know where that is?
Right there on
Yeah.
Shaw,
On Shaw.
right there on Shaw.
I thought it,
You know where the post office at, down the street from it?
I mentioned that 2 minutes ago.
Oh, okay, where you stay?
and I'm listening when you trying to say the Civic Center.
Yeah.
Specific for my,
Yeah, Martin
I
Luther
think
King
you talking
Civic
about
Center.
from Mayfield. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it need a lot of attention to it, and it's supposed to be, you know, up and running, but it's not. So we can actually try to get something to run program out of there so everybody can, you know,
And another thing I
have
was
meetings
looking at,
and stuff like that.
Y'all have
Y'all
nice
use
park
stuff.
out here. Y'all have some nice parks in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And I said they have little section, but I think they need to have more branches and everything, but they can have more people, try to help. Like the recreation, I mean, like, you know how the landscaping and all that, have somebody to bring it, you know, but just like the botanical. How about having a nice little area for people to come and get married and have outside, to make it real, real nice. You got the duck. Certain little things, you know what I'm saying, it's just to beautify the area, I was looking at that up in the area. Try to bring attention and like how somebody will know how to do certain
Decorate.
flowers, landscape.
Beautification.
Yeah,
Beautification.
right, that's what I'm saying. Because that pond is nice, have somebody clean it up
Yeah.
and all that.
No, that's okay, that's a good idea.
Go ahead.
My name is Shirley Hatcher.
Shirley Hatcher. Shirley, please your address, please, sweetheart.
13408 Shaw Avenue.
Okay.
But can any of that money be used for school guards? For school
Personnel, I'm
guards,
not
and
sure.
can money be, I don't know what the hourly rate is for the school guards, do we have enough? Maybe we need to do something about that, because that's an issue before and after COVID. We need to protect our children.
Yeah,
School guard,
yeah.
can we give them more money, or can we hire some more? No. And she talking.
I'm trying to think about that. I know that we can use the money for the safety forces. I don't know. We will have to, if the school guards could be considered a part of the safety forces, probably so. But if not, you know, we could check into it and see. Because I'm not sure about that at all.
Right, this may not be part of it either, but, I know that there's been times when the officers that we have to come here to get trained. And we take that training and go to another city. Are we, we need more police officers, don't we?
Well, if I can respond to that, we always need more police officers because we can't pay them adequately. The other municipalities pay. So we have a turnover in police. All the years I've been on council, we always have a turnover. They come here, they stay here 3, maybe 5 years. Then they'll go to Richmond Heights or Cleveland Heights or somewhere, and make 10 or 15,000 more. And until we increase our tax base, we're not gonna really be able to, that's gonna go on continuously. Because we can't pay them what the market is demanding of them right now.
And there's another side to that. And the other side to that is, while people may think we need more police officers are supposed to be assigned based on the population. And based on our population, we're not supposed to have any more police officers. Technically, when it started out, we had 17,000 people, which meant we were supposed to have a maximum of 21 police and run 3 shifts and a jail. And so now we're down to 14,000 some odd people.
For real?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means that technically, we're only supposed to have maybe 20 police officers, maybe 18 or 19.
Wow.
So, I mean, as you look at the
Who makes
population
those,
going down, the state of Ohio, as you look at the population going down, all of these things have to be considered and how they impact the budget. And like Mr. Martin says, police officers in other places make $29.10 an hour to start. That's not what they make here. They make $18 or somewhere in that vicinity. So, like people always get what you pay for.
Did you hear her response, Mr. Hank, that it's the state that specifies the amount of police officers per population?
yeah, I did hear that. I was just wondering where those, who says that? Who, you know, who made those statistics?
No, I don't think it's OPAD, it's the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio has minimum requirements when it comes to policing, jails, and things of that nature, and that's where it is.
Okay.
Question, do we have 7 officers at this point?
17,
No, 7. You said they have to cover 7, all 3 shifts. Do we have 7 police officers on all 3? If we got 21 police officers now?
well, we have 40 police
Yeah, we got
officers.
more. We got
Number
more
one, we've got 40,
than 40
and
police officers?
yeah,
Part-
there's
full-time,
40,
part-time.
40, yeah.
It don't look like.
Well, we've lost,
Where do
And-
they
and-
hang out at?
And if it's not 40, it's 35.
about 35 now they're coming and going too regularly in East Cleveland because we can't pay them. I can say 35, but we may go out tomorrow, Kareem, and
It'll
find
be
out
20.
it's 20, 25. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And
Then you
raise
need-
that
right,
money, money
you can raise
that
that
you
up.
have. Why we have 35, if that's not how many we
There you
need?
go.
It looks
And-
like the chief is online. Maybe he can respond to some of this.
Is he?
That's Chief Worley of the
Oh,
fire
that's the
chief.
fire chief.
That's our
Oh,
fire
that's the
chief.
fire chief.
All right.
So, Madam Chair,
But we're gonna work.
I was asking, so do you think that instead of having 40 officers starting at maybe $16 to $18 an hour, if we had 20 officers, could they start at $28, $29 an hour?
I think that that's something worth exploring.
Okay.
Because,
Why haven't that been explored up until now? Because we not.
well, I've been here 2 years.
Well,
That's all I have.
the timing of it is perfect. Let me in the sheet here. In the next 2, 3 weeks, we'll be going over the budget for 2022. Okay, and we cover everything for the budget for the mayor to run the city in 2022. We can bring that up.
Yeah, we get to break that up.
We'll bring it up.
That's necessary.
And I hope you guys come out. we're supposed to get.
Yeah,
the
because if
estimate.
that's something that you all wanna see change,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to
Yeah, y'all
come and
gotta-
support it.
Yeah,
Cause I'd rather keep all the officers here at $28 an hour
Yeah.
than be happy to come to work, they get paid a
and,
lot.
and then don't forget, they have to be off, they get sick, they're human like us,
They
they
vacation,
take vacation,
And
so
they
you
work.
gotta have enough of.
right, they
Right.
work overtime
Yeah.
if they go to court,
Yeah.
if they have a report that runs them over.
Right.
You know, some of them may
Disappear.
double out if somebody doesn't show. There's a lot of variables in the police department.
Yeah, but if we only, for the people that we have our tax base, if we only allow 3, then we could get 20 at a good
Good
rate.
rate,
Makes
yeah.
sense to me.
It makes sense.
Oh, yeah,
It really
definitely.
makes
That's
sense.
something needs to be
That's what
explored.
I'm talking about.
Definitely.
It makes sense. It makes real good sense.
And can I tell you one more thing? I don't know if you gotta work because, some of the addiction buildings that's not in business. And it doesn't look appealing, but I think that it would have been nice if we would have been able to invest in a nice hotel, a national hotel, like Motel 6, a budget or something like that.
I hear you.
Because you know what, you got people who come from all over, who may not be able to afford internet and all the other hotels that's down there, lower down in University Hospital and stuff like that. You got people that come from all over. So we gotta wanna bring some money into this city. So we gotta have an area that it could be, you can look at, and you can talk to the people in the community and try to reach out and have them look at it. Because we have to have something to bring money into this city, that we can use this money that you got. Because you got people coming to the hospital. And that's, you see what I'm saying? You're looking at Cleveland Clinic, and they making their money, they getting a bigger grant.
Can you use that money to help small businesses?
Yes.
Small businesses.
If a small business is or was impacted by COVID, yes.
Okay.
For example, if they almost lost.
Well,
their
just about
business.
everything was impacted by COVID.
Right, but you have to be able to prove it, so.
So, a question, Madam President, in regards to the police, because I heard you speak about them before. If we have a solid base and pay them higher wages, then they definitely would save, you've said before that would save the city tons of money, right?
Mhm.
So what do you plan to do? What would you do with some of that extra money? Would you like use it for neighborhood groups and to beautify the city and things like that?
Well, I think if we save money in the police department on one hand, we need to put it back in the police department on another hand. Because if you look across the country, police departments are changing. Our situation when it comes to policing in America needs to evolve. And that evolution is going to have to include a social worker and some kind of resource base inside the police department. I remember years ago how I got here. How I got here in Cuyahoga County was because a man died in the county jail, and this was in long time ago. But a man died in the county jail, and I ran the jail. At the time I was a police officer, I ran the jail in Youngstown. So I came here as assistant manager in the Cuyahoga County Jail because the federal government mandated that we put in that jail a division that was capable of handling the needs of the inmates. The inmates needed substance abuse treatment, they needed mental health treatment, they needed social work. Their attorneys were not going in, being able to go in to see them. So we had to put all of that in a structure and sit it inside the jail so that the people in the jail could do and get the services that they needed in the jail, so that when they hit the street back out here on the street in Cuyahoga County, or if they were sent downstate, they were already in a program and they could be moved on. But when we came, there was nothing there and people were being severely abused. So I think that in the police department, I think that we can do something similar that would take some of the pressure off of our police officers when they run up on a mental health case. They could call for somebody that is mentally health trained to come to the site and address and assist in those kinds of situations. So I'm looking at a police department for the future and how we can evolve our police department so that we don't become a situation where we have a lot of statistics and death in policing.
Look, baby,
And you had a person that was in a died from the, that's what you saying, that you didn't have the training, they didn't have the proper training or the social workers to recognize these signs?
You don't have that
We
in a
don't have
police
that in-
department. You don't have that in any police department across the country. They're just now formulating. What's happening is, see, when Black Lives Matter came on the scene and then they start talking about getting rid of the police department, it's not getting rid of the police department. It's adding resources to the police department that are capable with dealing with 21st century problems.
Right.
Because we have problems in the 21st century that we didn't have in the 19th century. So those are the kinds of things that I would like to see.
Would that go the same about the fire department?
Yeah, they're chiefs.
What we could do something for them?
They're
They're just as important as the police.
right, but it would be, that's a part of
It's just
safety.
part of safety. So that,
That's a part of safety, so that could come, that actually, that unit could sit outside and work across the board with everybody.
I would add that because of the challenges with police
Yes.
departments all over the country, we have what's called a pilot here in Ohio, where there's money coming through the state for training for our police. I don't have the thing, it was a real big thing I read a week ago from my clerk. So they're gonna have more training. We, the council as a body, always on them about them have the appropriate training. Okay, the training is essential. And like Corinne was talking about the mental health, the social work, all of that. And I worked in the jail as a social worker for almost 10 years. So the issues are similar. Okay.
and that would help. And then the police officers, if they get a raise, they can stay. You know, we don't have to worry about the time coming and going. But we don't even know their names half the time. So this would help us. So, yeah, that's a good plan for us.
One of the things people were talking about before was this jobs program, and Counselor Martin was talking about a summer jobs program. And so I'm presuming that that's aimed at high school students.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we need, in my mind, is a job training program, a job program for unemployed young people. So starting after the graduate or drop out or come back from prison, whatever, but for young people to develop jobs, job training. That's not just a summer job program.
Oh,
Well, Dr. Patricia Bohovic, you brought up something that was, there's $300,000 for women, single women, to be trained for employment. It sat there for 20 years and I kept hollering. Finally, the current mayor, they acted on it. They found out what I was telling the truth. They found out the money was there. So they connected a program with Tri-C. This is strictly for women, to train single women for employment. Then the pandemic kicked in and I don't know where it is at this point. So we need to look into it.
I saw,
Okay.
and I got an email about a program to develop job ready, job training for young women. That was, I think, countywide, but anyway, that was an email that I really haven't looked at in great detail.
But this one is specifically, not to cut you off,
Right, I
specifically for East
understand that
Cleveland.
there was money for East Cleveland,
Right.
and they tend to use it for nurses' aid training. And nurses' aid training is one valuable thing. It tends to be a highly strenuous, highly underpaid kind of work. And while, you know, it's appropriate work, there's nothing wrong, it's necessary. But I would like to see something that works more for young men and young women
Well,
and has the potential to get people better jobs or not necessarily better, higher paying
high
jobs.
paying jobs. Well, I need your help, especially you, Dr. Brobeck, you'll be coming on the council in a month. We need to see what they're doing with this program through Tri-C. Because I pressed them about it, so I got on their nerves. So they got it going, then the pandemic kicked in and we haven't heard anything about it. There's flyers that you can call the mayor's office, but it's strictly for single mothers. And it covers the age range, from 18 and up.
Yeah.
Okay,
And they need that work and that's great, but
right.
it's
What is the name
necessary,
of that,
but it's
Sue?
not sufficient.
It's called transition something.
Women
Right,
in
it's something,
transition.
681-2208. Single mother employment program, call the mayor's office. Okay, and then, I give you my number too, if you want it. But all that has to come through the mayor's office. Okay, we can legislate, but we can't run the program. Just like when I had the summer program that I pushed 7 years ago. At that time, the mayor was Eric Brewer, and we hired 15 young people from East Cleveland, and they cleaned the city, and it worked out real well because they had to do it. We couldn't do it from a legislative standpoint, and they implemented it, and it worked real well. But that was just for the summer. But this here single mother program is for women, period, single mothers, any age 18 and up. And it was, last I heard, it was about $300,000 still left in there. They hadn't been spent in 20 years.
Women in transition.
Yeah, okay, Twine has got, this women, it's the program, women in transition, and Tri-C is supposed to be implemented. Thank you, Twine.
But the thing about that program is that they've been coming in East Cleveland, there's been a few people coming in East Cleveland trying to do these programs and the residents is not coming out. I've been getting a lot of calls about that. They've been out here advertising, dropping literature all over the place. And for some odd reason, everybody is saying the same thing. These residents is not coming out to participate.
That's
So as a
that's,
result of that, that's causing them to look at East Cleveland. See, the thing about it, we can talk about programs up to we blue in the face. If 3 or more people tell you your breast stinkers, you just need to look in the mirror, I always say, right? It's multiple different people that have came in this city with different programs. They having problems working with the administration. That's one key thing. The second key thing is that nobody don't want to come out and participate. I don't know why that is with our residents, but they definitely walk in the streets. The women in transition, I've been dealing with them for years, and I know personally, because I told them where to go. They've been all up in the apartment complexes. And I couldn't believe that when they actually was here, it was like a tumbleweed was coming through here. Nobody participated.
Are you saying the program is here?
No, the ladies from the Women of Transition, they tried to go out here and market it out to the residents. They had, to come here to sign in for the program. Nobody showed up. And they did it. It was like a bliss for a week. They was here, I know personally, for a week. And for some odd reason, that was just women in transition. I'm not even talking about the other 2 programs that came in the city and passing out literature, and the residents just, I don't know why.
That's a huge problem, period, because if you look at people that are lined up for fresh produce, you got them about a mile long. You come to the election and that, what do you already see?
nobody.
There's quite a few things that are going on in this Cleveland that don't get recognized. But the issue is nobody wants to come out, nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to come out, volunteer, do what may need to be done so that we can make a difference here, So I don't know what the plague, I don't understand what it is. And they can't wear out as senior citizens, so it's some kind of program or some kind of.
I think it is.
To bring the young folks in, and we gotta go bring the young folks, I guess, to, get them going, because young folks super older folks.
You know, the schools got a lot of
Neighbors or whatever.
The schools got a lot of program, maybe we can interact with the schools and maybe that would draw other people too, you know, because the schools in the library, we have to network together. Because we have a lot of people coming through the library too, and might not know about it.
And Councilwoman, it's good that you said that, but the thing about it, even with the schools, they having problems, you know, building relationship. Everybody, I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's what I'm
We
saying.
need some mentors.
You know, I think it's, to be honest with you, I think council need to look at a public relations director. I think that East Cleveland get a lot of bad rap for a lot of things that East Cleveland is not responsible for. So something happened over in Union, they'll say east side of Cleveland, and when you look at east side of Cleveland, instantly think East Cleveland, and nobody is cleaning up the mess of that. So as a result of that, when people want to come in East Cleveland, it's like, oh, I ain't going up in East Cleveland because I heard this about it. And so we got to battle a major public relations bliss. We got to battle administration that is not cooperating with what we're trying to do. The school tried to build a track in the football field, and they couldn't even get a permit.
Well, I go along with council, they're not trying to do it, that is just like national politics.
Well,
You know, somebody always stonewall.
but you have to understand government, and this is what I want you guys to concentrate on. All we can do is legislate. We cannot implement any program. It has to be implemented through the mayor. He's the one there, the police. We can complain and jump up and down, but here's the final say so on the police. Okay, so it's, those are the dynamics that we can't change.
Yeah, but y'all can't even come to an agreement on even talking about issues.
Well,
They've always putting on, they
Go ahead.
table the issues. It
well,
never gets done. That's what I'm talking
Well-
about. If y'all can't agree to legislate,
no, we agree to legislate, but
But-
it
And
has
it is
to
being
be
passed.
implemented. If we legislate something, it has to be implemented. That we can't do. If we vote, let's say we say $13 million, let's say it all goes to people to fix up their home, to go to seniors. Then it has to be implemented, not by us, but by the mayor. Okay,
But you know what, though, Councilman?
Go
I think
ahead, Juan.
It just boils down to, just like, you know, the lady stating here. I think that that's what's killing our residents is that we having so much reality show on TV, when they see a lot of fighting and a lot of, you know, it's just, the city is just depressing. We up under so much of an attack that we have people coming, traveling into East Cleveland, right? To do crazy videos. This is a man that came in East Cleveland out of nowhere, right? And did a video. That video had 87,000 people in 4 days. It was disgusting how that man came in here, drove up and down the street and just talked so bad about the culture and talked about how filthy it is. And, you know, and when you have that negative, you know, thing, just like she stated, okay, you're looking at the TV, people are looking at that, and it's like Real Housewives from Atlanta. You're getting a lot of foolishness that goes on up in there, and the left hand don't know what the right hand is doing. The right hand, and you have to agree because you was one of the people that was fighting. It's in a row when it was closed down. 5 million came up missing, and it was other million because they gave what 2 pots of big bulks of money. Right today, we don't know where all that money is at. And then, you know, I think that we blame the mayor and said that, well, he backed up an 18-wheeler and put it all up in the truck and took off. You know, that ain't the reality. So, you know, it's like, you know, all this money is just coming up missing. And like you said, that administration got too much power. And it has to be as legislators that you guys got to come together and snatch that power because it's being abused. And it's been done like that. You've been here long enough to see from the pretty much trickle down about 4 mayors administrations to see, just like what Dr. Jordan said when she was in office, there's something about that mayor seat that just turns people into demons. You know, and it's like you said, you do the legislation and everything like that, but it's time to get out the box. And I think that that's where we at right now. I mean, even when we talking about police, we're talking about the guard. You may have to look into possibly cities have actually, created private police out of security guards. And you may have to think out the box and take people that are security officers and think outside the box and create. You may have to partner up with Case Western Police and other different police and ask them to do a contract to come and help cut off some of the area. I just think that it just gotta be to a point. This situation is very council people. I think this situation is just really to a point, it's got so bad that you guys, this new administration that's coming in, I think the only way East Cleveland is gonna turn is gonna have to be now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Residents, this is all up on us too. We gotta stop, with these people out here doing these recalls every other day. That's ranking up $20,000 per recall. That's a porch, that's a roof, that's something that could be done productive in the city. But because I don't like her, or because I don't like him, I'm gonna go get a piece of paper and then I'm gonna do a recall. Those counterproductive reality show type of things is hurting the city.
Absolutely.
And we have to come together as residents and say enough is enough and do something about it. We can't keep enabling our legislators. They're killing us. And that's just to be honest in the reality of it. We can't even go outside of our house without worrying about getting shot because somebody having shootouts on broad daylight. Lady got shot, councilman going up the hill. She was going up the hill. A young girl got shot in the head because they were shooting in the plaza. And they want to put a county jail in our city. East Cleveland should not be the dump to Cuyahoga County. Enough is enough with that. But if we don't come out like you state, if we don't care about our youth like y'all stated, the youth is gonna say, well, they don't care about us, so why in the world, should we do anything either? Everybody is just coming to a point like this. And just like how y'all brainstorming and everything, and you seeing how resident, what do we do? How do we get people out? People don't wanna come out, and this ain't never been done before. I never seen that, have you?
No. And I want to say that all of you here, the job transition program that Twan mentioned, please get the word out. The money just sitting there. Okay, the money's there. It's been there over 20 years.
How much is it?
300,000. Yes, young lady.
I just wanted to add about the women.
Is that Don Jones?
Yeah.
Okay, stand up. I don't know, can you catch her on there?
Oh, she will, won't you stand up?
Okay, Don, we need your name and your address, please.
Dawn Jones, 1742 Lakefront Avenue, East Cleveland. I just wanted to say that one of the dilemmas that women might be having is that they don't have anyone to watch their children. Single
Okay.
mothers to have a babysitter to watch 2 or 3 kids, it's expensive, and whatever they're making probably is not going to be sufficient enough for them to get transportation going back and forth to work. Pay a babysitter is probably not worth it, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So we need to add more to the pot and give them more benefits.
Train them for higher jobs is what
Yeah.
we need.
Better jobs.
But can we find out, how long has that program been in,
We can put into that.
It went all the way back to Ottawa. It started in Ottawa, and it was about, I think, 5 million. You remember, Pembroke? And, they did a little bit of it, then, Iowa got in trouble. And then the money that was left, the 300,000 I was mentioning, you guys, was sitting there. So I got them to do something with it last year. And they looked into it, they saw that the money was there, because I had called up the Washington, and they told me, Mr. Martin, the money's still here. It's just sitting here, and it's directed to it only for single mothers for employment. Okay, not men, but women with kids. And like you said, the name of the program is Jobs in Transit. Was it Transition? Women in Transition. Call the mayor. The money's there. Now that this COVID thing is subsiding maybe somewhat, I don't know what Tri-C has done with it so far.
I was
Okay,
gonna say that one.
Go ahead, Don.
I was gonna say one way to offset the cost of the babysitting is maybe the city, in conjunction with that program, would do a grant for babysitting with Hannah's preschool, whatever that is over there, to have their kids picked up, because they have buses, and then dropped off when the mother gets off.
I,
That could come out the extra
right,
money,
that
right?
could come, I
Right.
think,
Yeah.
if it's coordinated right, Don, and you're right on point,
That's right.
it could come out of that money. That's a lot of money.
That's what we done.
Okay, that they can have it where they can have babysitters and maybe even transportation to get them to where to
Back and
get the
forth.
training at, right?
Back and forth.
And a stipend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But again,
Gotta get them.
when they picked it up, and I think they were picking up, they did it their way. Okay, I'm talking about the mayor did it his way. I'm not saying any negative. He picked the players and all like that, because I pressed them and pressed them. So everything's negotiable. Even this here, everything's negotiable in terms of this ARPA money. Okay. We were hoping that we could reach an agreement based on what you're saying and what we're hearing from the public on how we're gonna spend this money this year and how we're gonna spend it next year.
Just
Yeah.
a question. I'm sorry I was late,
All right.
but you're talking about a $300 pot? Not a
No,
No,
that's
no,
not what we're
That's
talking about.
that's another program.
That's not what we're
So we're
talking about.
talking about
That's not our
13 million.
program.
Yeah, the 13 million this year, Pambro, and the 13 million next year.
Yeah,
That's the
not our
ARPA money, American Rescue Plan money.
Okay, I got a question. I understood that some checks have been issued
That's not,
to,
We don't
we're
wanna
not,
get in
we're
that.
not discussing that.
We don't wanna get in that. And they have been issued, but we have no control over it.
We have.
That's gonna be
not-
worked out eventually.
here's my comment.
All right.
Then it's the council's responsibility to put any rules, regulations, guidelines to any money at all. And that the mayor must by law follow those guidelines. Otherwise, he has broken the law. See, if you allocate funds and do not put these guidelines, restrictions, and what have you on any money, then he gets to do that on his own, unchecked. So, my advice in going forward is to put that kind of teeth in your legislation so that anyone looking at it knows that it's got certain types of restrictions. And on that money, there would be federal restrictions. There could also be city restrictions put on that by the council.
Okay.
I mean, but he did mention it, but it didn't come to the council, so we don't know nothing about
Yeah, see,
it. He mentioned a
yeah,
lot, so we'll find
but
that out.
you, as a council member, all of you should know everything about
Okay,
it,
that's good.
not be in the dark.
Well, you're right, you're absolutely right about that.
So
We'll
are
talk
we-
about that, you know.
We're still talking about it. Ms. Fonjoy?
Okay, you were talking about the woman in transition, but you gotta understand, I have come to a lot of programs dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that, this is the thing, it's not, it seems like, to me, in my opinion, the state of Ohio is not so kind to certain group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the money is there, but they don't have it and they don't give it to you to even get a higher learner or skill. I'm talking about women alone,
All right.
okay? And then not only that, sometimes the program don't even work, and it's like misleading advertising.
Well, one thing you can do objectively, so we can get back on point, is, what's the call again, Twan? Women in transition. Get the word out. I know there's women that looking for work, okay, training. Get the word out so people can see how Tri-City's gonna train them and get them jobs. Okay,
Okay, but look.
the mayor's office, I gave you the number, 681-2208. 681-2208. The program is Women in Transition.
When was the last time that you checked on that money to make sure it's still there?
I haven't checked on it since the pandemic kicked in, but now that they brought it up, because I had forgot all about it, yeah, I'm gonna look into it. Okay, all right,
We're gonna see where
all right. I forgot all about it. Thank you, all you guys.
Go ahead.
I'm taking, this question doesn't, I just wanna know why the mayor and the rest of the city council's not here.
That's a question for them. I don't
We
know.
can't speak
We
for
don't
them.
know.
You know what, you guys complain to us that we don't get along all the time and all like that. But we reach out, and it'd be nice if he'd have been here, but he's not here.
Well,
Okay.
I think Ernest, when I was on.
Right, well, he came in here for 1 second, and he been going ever since.
He
Whatever.
didn't even know about the meeting. I told him there was a meeting at the library. That's
He
why-
didn't know about it?
No, he did not. Yes, he did.
We sent out
I just wanna-
invitations to
Oh, he told
all
me
the
he did.
council guys.
Excuse me,
Go ahead.
we make sure that everybody.
Shirley Hatcher, right?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Get my heart and my thoughts together, be respectful.
All right.
Quiet as it kept, there's a lot of residents that are doing some work to bring the village together.
All right.
Did everybody
Where-
sign in? I'm sorry. Please sign in if you did.
We're working to bring our neighborhoods together. And when we break bread, when we speak to one another, it's very honorable, it's very heartfelt that somebody came out. Just recently, we had an outing in our garden center. There's about 40 people came there. It was
When you
beautiful.
say we had an outing, what are you talking about, Shirley? Who?
We had a neighborhood.
You talking about Noah now?
remembrance of Pat Terry.
Pat
Our
Terry?
neighborhood group.
Well, I didn't know anything about it.
Well, I never passed flyers
All right.
At the last meeting.
Did you bring up to the council
Didn't
office?
I give you a flyer?
All right. I didn't know, I'm being honest with you, I didn't know anything about it, because we tried to make these.
You didn't come to the council forum, that's why you had an emergency.
It was there.
Okay, oh, okay. I wasn't at the debate. Okay.
For everyone.
I don't wanna lose my thought.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I feel from my heart.
Go ahead. Take your time, Shirley.
It's important that we leave our personal grievances outside.
Mhm.
I'm retired and I was a manager, supervisor and everything. And when I left my home and went to work, I put on my work attitude because I know I had things to do. I had people that take care of the payroll. I had to do ordering. I've done it all. I've always been a person that I grew to have people skills,
Okay.
to respect one another. Even at my highest level, I never spoke down to anybody. But I'm not better than anyone else. And it's heartbreaking to come in here and see that every last one of y'all basically was voted in them chairs. The past and the present. And I'm gonna tell you what we're feeling in the neighborhood. We're sick and tired of the division, the disrespect, the personal issues that you guys have with each other, that you can't sit here, you're asking us our input. But see, like when y'all sit down together, it's like you got your own agenda. You don't think about yourself. You're not thinking about what we want, what we're saying. Love, honor, and respect for one another. Do your job. That's all we ask for. Because I want to know you. I want to know you. I want to know you. I want to know everybody. We get to know each other and everything. We build no walls and no attitudes and stuff like that. Please. The mayor and all y'all be sitting up here. Let's work these things out. Let's figure out a plan that we listen to the plans and then sit down and work the plan out. And sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree. But there's nothing worse than to see so much disrespect. It's just sad. And this city that we
unprofessional.
very much so. And in this city, I've always felt that it's mostly Black in my perspective, that we could make a difference. We could be so strong and we could be somebody want to be, how did you do that? What'd you do to make your city turn around like that? How many of y'all communicate and get out there and do it? Why can't we make an example of that? We're already divided by the wards. You know what I'm saying? So we got 12 groups that I know about. And we try to reach out to everybody. So if I'm having something, I'll call somebody in the other group. I may call somebody in the other group. I can't come over there because I'm in group number 4. I'm in group number 10. We're all in this together. Bring all the plans and the ideas and the love and the debates together. But drop these attitudes, please.
Thank you.
It's not helping us. The residents are working harder to bring us together than I feel that you guys are. And I thank you for the way you're behaving today.
Mhm.
And I hope it continues like that, because our
Yeah.
mission is to fill these seats and start holding everybody accountable for it. So if you're gonna take our ideas, go with it, sit down together, make a plan with the mayor, with the financial secretary, whoever's all involved. Because I'm just learning what the council's responsibility is. I'm just learning what the mayor's responsibility is. Who has power for this decision? Who has power for that decision? And why is it kept? If you guys want that seat and everything, how much have you learned about what your responsibilities are? To pass this on so we can understand, so that we can all make a decision and be happy with it. But what is your role? What is your role? What do you want from us? Don't want to hate. Takes too much energy. Want to love. I want to respect. I want to work with you. I don't want to turn my back because I see you coming. It's too much energy. So come on, people. Do something to get us out there. And I'll say this at the end, that we, Wanda, Ms. Shirley, we've come to several council meetings and find out we can't even get in. It was canceled at the last minute. We're sitting there waiting, well, maybe somebody's gonna come. We wasn't giving up. We sat there waiting for 45 more minutes. What happened? Y'all just up in the air, just decide to, the heck with us.
No.
Something came up, it should be posted, we should be emailed, we should be something. Because we could have stayed home. We could have stayed home. And so I'm saying, love, honor, and respect, and listen, and decide, and let's get this stuff going. Because other than that, if what you're asking for, our input, we're not gonna do anything with it.
That's clearly not, this is my committee, I'm chair of this finance committee. And my intention with the information that is collected here today is to glean it, to break it down, categorize it, regurgitate it back into the community, develop a plan and hand it to you. I don't waste a lot of time, and they'll tell you, I do a lot of work that people don't see. When the situation came up about the raises and the part-time, this job is not part-time. This job might have been part-time 50 years ago.
No way.
But not today,
No part-time.
not with the way the city is, the state of the city, the minimization of services has increased the council's duties that are not even the council's duties. Because technically, you have a mayor and that position is supposed to handle a lot of stuff that comes into the council office, and we just handle it. And people don't know it. We're the ones that's calling you back. We're supposed to, but we do it anyway because I'm concerned about all of it. I know I live here, and so I suffer just like you. My street is in total disrepair, clearly falling apart. Trees overgrown. If I don't go cut them, they don't get cut. So I'm in the same situation that you're in. And I don't want to make people feel like they're unwelcome or afraid or I shouldn't hear what they're saying. Clearly, I hear when people are talking. I talk to people every day on a myriad of things that I didn't know I would be involved in. But I have to handle it, so I just do. And so do my colleagues.
Can I say something there too? I don't know if y'all gonna be agreeing with this. But we were talking about the house. Remember I said something about bringing people from out the
Outside?
house to bring up the community? I was thinking maybe we should have open up an office and, housing, like a development for East Cleveland.
We have that.
You get what I'm saying? So that way people can have, you can like invest in a house, get with somebody. Remember I said that we can get somebody, like, look at the houses, try to see what you can do as far as saving it, putting pipe in, electrical and everything. And then that's money still and they gotta pay taxes.
Yes.
So they're gonna bring the city back. I think you should try to see how y'all can do that. Open up an office in housing for East Cleveland only, development.
And I think I want to, Shirley, are you a chair, a neighborhood chair?
I'm president of neighborhood number 2.
Okay, see, now this is my biggest breakdown right here. I don't even know who all of you all are. And I've been trying to get a list of who the chairs in the neighborhoods are for at least 2 years. And I don't have it yet. So if somebody could help me with that, that would be a big help. Because then we would know who to contact. Right now, we don't know who to contact. We don't have any information. Okay? Mr. Pamela?
Yeah, you know, piggybacking off what the sister said over here,
Yes.
what expands it out is Community Development Corporation.
Yes, CDC.
Now, we've been talking about that. I've talked about that in East Cleveland over 30 years now. The problem is none has come in here. In Collinwood, in the Collinwood neighborhood, there's a CDC, brought $42 million into the city.
Mm-hmm.
We have to understand and do these things. These are the things that the outer governments around us know to do. And here we are without doing that in all these years. I mean, it's been talked about. We need a new city hall. We need a float bond money in order to finance a new city hall. There's a bunch of things that we have neglected in the last 25, 30 years. And we need to, in order to turn the city around, we're going to have to do these things. We're going to have to wrap our heads around it, get people in here who can explain how to make moves within this framework so that we pull the city forward and not lose ground, any more ground than we've already lost. We can stop this and we can revitalize and rejuvenate our city and be proud as Black people in America. This could be a showcase for our people throughout America. People can move in here. LeBron James could buy 2 blocks and move in here, build a mansion. I mean, all of that's possible. And one thing that we're going to have to do is get our police department out, because we have Nazis on the police force who want to kill us and our children. And that is unacceptable. I'm not, living in a place that's dangerous because the police are a gang is just absolutely unacceptable. So we need to deal with these things and bring this, bring this thing under our power.
Now, I'd like to follow up on something you said first. He talked about the Community Development Corporation. When I was president of Windermere Renaissance, we got set up as a Community Development Corporation. That was when Mayor Brewer was mayor. We did all the paperwork, we did all the organizational stuff. We made plans for a dialysis center and some living and some business development. We had things really well organized. And that particular mayor's office, like so many, refused to work with us. And we had people with doctoral degrees. We were a racially mixed group. We were a group that worked well with each other. And we were a group that was working well in the plans that we had. But the city is not always something that is real cooperative. When they made this Circle East plan, they had plans for more buildings. But what I'm told,
We forgive you.
what I'm told is that the administration did not work well with them. So we lost a whole nother set of apartment buildings that they were going to build, going roughly north from the ones that are there in that area that's obviously part of that area. And this is one of the things we lose when the administration does not work well with the rest of us.
Well, I got a question for you.
There's
if I
one,
may.
there's one behind you.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
The thing about it, and I would agree with.
Pull your,
what-
Twan, we can't hear you with the mask on, you muffled.
I would agree with what, Sister said. I've been seeing you coming to council meetings for quite a while, and I see how you take care of your property. It's a lot of residents, that I have seen, like I said, it's fed up. But here's the thing about it, with us talking about getting along, okay? Let's just keep it 100. You got the difference between being black and you got the N-word, right? You got the people that don't give a damn. The only thing about that, a lot of these people that come into power, whether it's council or whether it's mayor, it's about ego. It's about money. It's not about people. These politicians, once they come in with, but when they see how easy $100 here, $5,000 here, $10,000 here, and then people coming to you and begging, please, can you cut my house tree? Can you do this, to that? And the power that they have over somebody, they take that. There has never been, I have been all over the state working with city managers, state representatives, and all kind of people. I have never in my entire life seen a mayor's administration have his family running this whole city. And council have really no power. Now, thank God that we got a new council person that's coming in. Now you're gonna have an opportunity to see it shift. These people is playing chess and they robbing the mess out of the city. That's why I said, check and make sure that 300,000 is there. These people do not want to get along. It's all about me, myself, and I. The games that they plan on residents, they use you. They come to the popular people like yourself, and they find out who's who. They'll sit there, they'll say, what do you want? And you say, okay, I want a house knocked down. So fine, we'll knock that house down. They'll knock that house down, they'll take care of your street. They'll find out who's on the next street. Wherever the votes is at, that's who they go to. All politicians does that. As a result of that, it suffered. The city got cancer. And anybody know anything about cancer, you can't treat one part of the body because it spreads. When you go up at the top of East Cleveland, many residents don't even know that we got a leaf truck. But we're paying tax money to service only one population. You're segregating the city. Okay, but the residents, it's not their fault. People keep trying to blame it. We're enabling each other. We're not telling the truth to each other. We keep going right up in there because it's what he does for me. What he done for my street. Like I said, when you walk out of your street, you're in East Cleveland. When you come from up in East Cleveland, up there in Forest Hill, you're in East Cleveland. There's not no separation. But due to the fact that you got monies that you're paying for, that you can't get service. There's some many senior citizens that ain't got no family, they can't get no service. These guys, you're paying for. Anybody that own houses, they walking up in these people's yards. Am I lying, Fambro? Did you get that video?
Yeah.
Okay. November 1st, our city workers, your tax money, they going up in yards. I had a man tell me that worked for the service department. They going in people's yard, blowing their leaves out and the leaf truck that you're paying for, that many residents in East Cleveland don't even know that we have.
Oh, I know we have one.
Many of them don't know.
Yeah.
And it's being serviced. So how can you blame, you heard Councilman Martin, we're legislators. So now they gotta take an extra yard because there's so much corruption and so much power up in there. And a lot of things, hey, listen, a lot of y'all, and I don't care, I just keep it real. This is what it is. Ernest Smith is our council person in our city. None of y'all ain't saying nothing about how much money is being spent on him driving that truck all around. We're paying for that. That man drove 471 miles into, what, a week? A week. You're paying for that. But guess what? Y'all right here blaming them.
No, I'm blaming him.
No, listen what I'm saying. No, listen what I'm saying. You can't back it up.
Don't say y'all.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about.
It's everybody.
This is what I'm saying. This is the point. It's not everybody. It's us as residents. Because see, that's the thing. You can't sit up there and get mad at the master. We the ones that put Ernest Smith up in there. So how can we blame them? We the ones that voted for him. And y'all, as us, let's say that. No, let's say all of us go down there and we vote. We voted for Mayor King to be back up in there. That man don't even live in our city.
You think you're telling anybody that what something we don't know?
Obviously, we don't because we still don't know.
Can we get back on task?
But if we want to, let me say this, and I'll close out, because see, this needs to be said, because see, this is the problem. A lot of, if we don't know why we keep doing the same things, like a domestic violence relationship, why do you keep going back to your abusers and keep on having the people there?
Always up on the hill.
And why we don't have no service. We need to get the service together, but I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna leave it alone. The fact of the matter is, well, listen, it ain't, I'm not the one to blame.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I'm not the one that got the city, so it don't matter to me.
Right.
But I would say this, Councilwoman, at the end of the day, we have to look at the mere fact, and I'm glad that we got a new council coming up in there, and we need to really, y'all need to look into taking the power back, because it's too much going on in the city. And it's to a fact that we cannot trust each other to do the right thing. We see things that's going on, but we take the naked eye because we want things done the way for us. I talk to enough residents and I'm finding out that they negotiate and doing things behind everybody's back. That's the reason the chess game is going on. That's the reason why when you was out there, we talking about the recall, $20,000 in recall, they keep doing it. They keep doing it. That's causing taxpayers. But we as residents, if you guys right now put it on the ballot right now, probably about what? We'll probably have about 85 people that'll vote. And nobody will do anything about it. So the thing about it, like I said, you can't get mad at the legislators. I have heard people say things about you guys, and at the end of the day, I ask them the question, well, if it's their fault, to a point, you can sit up there and say that, but certain things, it's just gotta be us as residents. Because I'm be honest with you, I should have been more engaged than what I was. But then at the end of the day, when you looked at it, it got to a point, it was bad. It's real bad now. Because nobody know what that world is going on right now. So if we can't get services and now the taxpayer, my house that went up $74,000 out of 32,000. They just spiked it up. Our water bills, y'all know about that. Our water bills is getting ready to be spiked. They're going up in Cleveland. So East Cleveland is getting ready to get hit harder with water bills. So now residents is getting ready to lose their house. And I thank you for giving me that time, Councilman.
Yeah, and they on fixed income, some of them.
Mr. Fambrell.
We gonna have their help.
I just want to make a comment off of what Dr. Lahoviak said. I want to ask you, during the time when you're talking about expanding Circle East, that was halted. But what year was that? How many years back was that?
You mean when Circle East was completed?
Wait, no.
Was when Jerry Norton was mayor.
Yeah. So, okay.
And it was fairly far into his administration. I don't remember.
Okay, here's what I'm
I think it
saying.
was 2012.
We had a stinking, on fire, exploding dump, but not the expansion down here, based on the administration. Okay, how they handled it. The expansion got frustrated and walked away. but we got a dump that I don't have to speak any further about because I'm sure all of us in this room know about that. Okay, on fire, stinking and exploding. That's where the lady Ibanez passed away up there. She was
Right.
109 years old. She was killed by living right next to that dump. Lost her life. Couldn't open her windows. I visited her in her home. She couldn't open her door and windows. If you open the door, you got to shut it right quick because otherwise it's going to infest their house, you know? I mean, it's really a sin and a shame.
Can we
So-
get back to the money?
Yeah.
What y'all wanna see done with it?
Yeah,
Let's
so
do it.
somebody else over here had a question. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, I wanted to say
Please state
that,
your name and your address.
She already did it.
Don Jones is in there, 1742
42 Lakefront.
Lakefront.
Okay,
Yes, I wanted to say that there is a very big disconnect with disseminating information. Because depending on who you are and whether or not people like you, they will not tell you information that you need. I'm talking about programs that are in the city. You can be involved in a group and not even know what the group is doing because they are not giving you information like having your roof repaired. You know, they have a program for that at the city. And a lot of people don't know that. You have to put your name on the list. There's a paid program. There is,
We know that, yeah.
you know that, but there are a lot of people that don't know that. There's a program that the bailiff has, that if you're a senior citizen and you need your lawn cut, you can call him up and they will come around and cut your lawn. You don't have to just,
Service.
I'm sorry?
Is that court community service?
yeah,
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know
it
what they
is.
do.
They also, in addition, not to cut you off, they will shovel you, if you're a senior, they'll shovel your snow too. Because winter's right around the corner. Go
And
ahead,
people
Don.
that are residents, they have communicated with the city and the city said they couldn't help them. But they have out of their own pocket paying $12,000 for a new roof when the city could have done, you know, their new roof.
Yeah.
Paying for trees to be cut down in their yard, when we have a program where we have, you know, hire a company that will come and cut down your tree for free. But they didn't know that, so they spent another almost $1,000 having trees cut down. Because people do not give you the information.
Mhm. That's right.
So one of the questions could we use some of this money for like a newsletter directly from the council or directly from the city to the residents to know? Maybe,
well, we could do that as a council, as a whole, and that's something that I think would actually benefit everybody if we would put together, each counselor would put together some kind of column or something that we could put into a paper and we could send it out on a monthly basis to let people know what's going on in the city.
Even with the problem with the groundhogs. People don't know that we have an exterminating company that comes into the city to either capture, kill, or gas out those groundhogs. Because when they tunnel next to your property, next to your foundation, they eat through concrete, they eat through wood. And next thing you know, you're gonna have a foundation problem and you're gonna have water in your basement. But people don't even know that we have that service, and we do, because people do not give residents that information. You could be living here at 20, 30, 40 years and you don't even know what's going on in the city because the city does not send out information on that. And if you don't belong to a group like NOAA, where you are, you know, trying to pull in all the information that you can, you are not going to find out what's going on. If I didn't go down to City Hall and happen to see a flyer stating that there was a paint program or something else, I would have never known because they never mailed it to me.
Right.
And like I said, depending on who you are, when you speak to somebody at City Hall, they're not telling you the truth. They're not telling you that
Or
there are all these.
misinformation.
Yes, or misinformation, and I hate to say it, but people don't even want to call City Hall because people are just so nasty when they call. And
Yeah.
like you said, respect.
Or
You know.
decide they're not gonna answer your calls.
Yes, and they don't call you back.
Yeah.
They don't call you back.
so can there be some type of paid training maybe for like? that
It's an
type of-
attitude. It's an attitude and
We-
it's an ego.
But we can only police our own. We can't police the entire city hall.
I'm just telling
That's
you
the
the
mayor.
facts.
I understand clearly what you're saying.
That's what we're dealing with today.
We are 20 minutes before we close. So can we get our final,
One question.
let's go here first.
Okay, I wanted to say something there, because I don't know if you agree with some of the stuff I was saying. But I was trying to say something about, I have a problem. I don't want to sound harsh and I don't want to sound discriminating, but it's heartbreaking to walk into the city and you see people that look like they have, like, it's like this city is mostly with mental health. They're out there,
Excuse me,
lot of them.
we can mask them so we can.
It's like they look like, just like, it's just everywhere you go.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Then you approach by them and then you be like, oh my God. I mean, it's just, I'm not trying to sound prejudiced or rude or nothing like that, but it's just like, it's just besides drugs. People are drugs. Then I was thinking too, remember I said about the development? Well, what about having a shelter here? What about having one of your buildings and having a shelter? Why is all the shelters on the west side? You barely see any housing shelters.
There's a shelter on Euclid.
I mean, that's the money to bring into the city as well. They gotta get it.
There should be more than one shelter. We should have multiple. Because there's a lot of homeless people out here.
That's what I'm saying.
And you have to understand, the shelters in Cuyahoga County pretty much get their money from Cuyahoga County.
Right.
And there are,
But the state also look out for some of the people as well.
no.
Because I do, okay.
The county, and I retired from the county, and the shelter program was one of the programs in my department that I oversaw. The operation of those programs is left up to, I believe, a domestic violence board. And that board determines where shelters are and who gets the money. Okay, so East Cleveland can open a shelter, but where you gonna get the money to fund it? So you've got to sort of,
That's what I was asking.
right, you have to be able to matriculate through that system in order to start that process and be accepted, because they're not willing, really. There's about 4 or 5 shelters that split that money, and they're not really willing to split it, dice it, and slice it any further.
About the housing, not to kind of interrupt you and be real. That's what I was saying, East Cleveland having a housing development, because of the housing, they be having them, just like the Hispanic community. They have housing that they fixed up and everything. I be around and I know what's all that's out there. And I see how they handle it, just like I was saying, when I looked at it, the west side, the Cleveland or whatever the case may be, okay, they had the development center, they said, oh, we got this money, you saying Colorado County, this is East Cleveland, but it's still up under Cleveland, regardless. They tell you it's not, or we all for it, this community is all for itself. And they're gonna have to figure out how to make that area. Because it's certain races. So no, it's not like that. What I'm saying is you gotta fix, we're trying to come, we're here to try to bring this city back up. That's what we're here for. So basically we gotta figure out if that's gonna be, like I said, I come in and this is what the, if you want to go to a night, like for instance, your casino. What's the name of that place right there by the car wash, the car place?
Tucker.
Yeah. What happened to it? It don't even look like nobody in there.
Right. So we need to close. Go ahead.
We don't make a decision.
I mean, they can't open up a casino?
The plan will make the decision. Because once we put this plan together, we have to attach money to it in order for people to facilitate those processes and programs.
And we have been, or will you keep us abreast of?
Well, that's what I said
We wanna-
earlier. This information is gonna be regurgitated back out to you all
Yes,
in the form of a plan that identifies what you told us you wanted.
and we're gonna have to try to bring it together.
How
Right,
much is it again?
13 million
Yeah,
this
we're gonna bring
year
it together.
And then
and
13
million
year.
next year.
But isn't some of the 13 million from this year already gone?
We can assume that, but we
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
have that
And it
definitively
should be
yet.
going.
So we'll have to wait on and see with that. There may be some other contributing factors that have been put into play.
Well, isn't it the fact that the council allocates funds
Yeah.
and the,
That's what the charter states.
right.
And we supposed to
So
do that.
that process is not, if you don't know where the money goes, no one should know because you're the council over the budget.
Like we said, nothing ever came through council yet, so we already know that it's in the pot, so we going forward in that. Cause we ain't never passed anything yet, that's why we asked everybody to come out and have their ideas, so we can all put the plan together and get back with them, so we'll know where every penny goes.
Before any decisions is made,
Yeah.
we'll know.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right,
Yeah, that's
I
why
have
we-
no intentions of keeping this from you all. Clearly, you probably gonna get too much information and get sick of me real quick.
Progress with the money.
Go ahead.
After y'all
Hold
make the
on,
decision.
hold on. Go ahead.
I wanted to say if we could also, change the charter to bring a level of, responsibility from the mayor down from, because the council can only, approve like over 50,000. I want to bring that money level down to like maybe 20,000, 15,000 to make it, that's just one point. on the
But that's
charter.
not, technically, that's not what the charter says.
25.
They're charged at 25.
Oh, that's
2,500, that's
Yeah.
the only thing the
Oh.
mayor is
That's what
supposed
the
to
chart-
spend.
And,
Anything
and
over that.
just for the
then you
record,
go to council.
John,
We need to start to
we
break
need
down
we
our
need to leave,
equipment.
but I want to say this because it's important.
I still have part two of my question though, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is, I paid for 4 appraisals on property that I tried to purchase around East Cleveland.
Mhm.
And the response that I got back from, the final response that I got back from the administration was that the properties are no longer for sale. So, yeah. And so what I did was I asked to have a refund of my appraisals because that's almost
Mhm.
$1,000. $750, and I'm
Yeah.
deducting one appraisal fee because it's on the same property, 2 appraisals that I had done on the same property. And I've been going back and forth. I don't want to go back and forth anymore. And it's been dragging on for like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
So Mike Smedley had agreed to refund my appraisal money. And I chased him for about a year. And my last response from the mayor's office was that council, the only one who can approve the refund for the appraisal. So I brought the paperwork in.
Okay.
And Ms.
Okay,
Wallace-
can you,
Ms. Wallace,
ma'am,
building and
ma'am,
housing-
we have to get out of here. Can you, this is Ms. Gowdy. Ms. Gowdy is the chairperson of contracts and property. So I would like for you to get with her and you all come back to council with this and even come to contracts and properties meeting so that we can resolve this. But right now, we really have to go. They've been courteous enough to let us use their space, and so we gotta give them.
Thank you,
their
guys.
property.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming.